Okay, let's go. We have a video for an incredible set, and I'm reviewing it so late in its cycle. Is somebody dropped the ball. I don't care what you think about me. I have a decent sized audience, and that audience is active purchasers, and this is something that's exactly in my wheelhouse. It's got a beryllium dynamic driver. It's got Sony, and I believe taking care of the mids, and it's got Knowles. It is a $250 set. Let me go ahead and double check this. If you're a subscriber to my channel, go ahead and comment below. Because this is in the $250 range, this is something that would go out to somebody that comments below, gives the video a thumbs up if you actually like it, so that this can find a nice home. Let's take a look at what it's got. It's got a 10mm beryllium coated dynamic driver. It has one Sony balanced armature driver, which I'm assuming is in the mids, and then two Knowles balanced armatures, which is upper mids and treble to late treble. That's my assumption without seeing any more information. That's usually the way it's put together. It's made of an interesting material. It's got the nozzles right here that you can see. There's nothing about this set that I'm not a fan of. Let me go ahead and talk about music. In the low frequency, Big Boy Kill Jill, the triple drops. The bass on this isn't really bombastic. It's not a bass headset, but it does hip hop fine. It does it. When I'm expecting a big drop, the big drop comes. It sounds good. It sounds clean. Kendrick Lamar, Tupac, the Big Boy Kill Jill track, things like that. Wu-Tang Clan. Wu-Tang is for the children. Don't ever forget that. It all does fine. The Roland 808 type drops. As we move into a 4 and 5 string bass guitar, the pulls, the plucks, the releases, the ringing of the strings sounds fantastic. I didn't look at a graph for this for the first 3 days that I was listening to it. I just was listening to it to kind of train my ears to look later, to imagine what it's probably going to graph like and what it actually graphs like, and I pretty much nailed it. It didn't sound like it had treble that was late and was kind of offensive. It didn't sound like it had too much mid bass. I pretty much nailed it. So in the low end, including Bonham's kick drum, the emphatic entrance on When the Levee Breaks from the 4th album by Led Zeppelin, dum, 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 dum. This conveys that, what is considered accurate to me, an iconic, very much produced kick drum. It sounds like that with this set. As we move into the mids, and we're talking about vocals when I do reviews, talking about Chris Cornell, Lane Staley, Nina doing the cover of Blondie's Heart of Glass. Again, this is a set that maybe its best point is right here, because vocals sound excellent. They've got a slight warmth to them, but in a good way. It sounds very musical. It doesn't in any way sound bloated or like the driver is quote-unquote slow, which it technically wouldn't be. 55 hertz is 55 hertz. Extension, retraction, return to stationary 55 times in a second is what 55 hertz is. There are times where, because of decay and because of quality of driver, it can sound like it's a little bit slow when it's actually not, but it doesn't really matter. If it sounds like it's like that, then that's what it is. A beryllium driver, one of the points of it is because it's got a stiffening that's not too much like a titanium, like the old, I can't remember those headphones, Ultrasound. Those sounded unnatural with their decay. Those were titanium. Beryllium is different. Beryllium can give back accurate low frequency replay without really disturbing what I call a mid penalty, which is the vocals or most all instruments. So vocals sound good on this. As we move into the upper mids and treble, which for this reviewer is pretty much harmonics and overtones of electric guitar and acoustic guitar, and with and without distortion pedals, cymbals, rides and crashes, pianos or keyboards, all of those instruments can really get on you quickly or over a period of time, which would prevent a set from becoming something that you would listen to on a daily transit to university or to your job, or lay down and chill on the sofa. There's a lot of sets that do that well, and most don't. This would be a set that would actually do that well. You could listen to this like I did for a long period of time and enjoy your library, because the overtones and harmonics from those instruments, they can become quite fatiguing or sound unnatural when the ear gain area is being eclipsed in amplitude by another area that is after the 4, 5, 6 range. You hear that because that's not really how sound works. Over time, sound decays, so when the overtones are boosted over the late fundamentals, you're going to hear it and you're going to notice it, whether you're conscious of it or not. Absolutely stunning surprise of a set. some people said you really ought to get this, and I kind of thought, oh, okay. So the S08 is probably the best planar that you can get dollar for dollar. Now, I won't get into the very expensive ones made in America, except to point out that the drivers within those are coming from the same company. You go ahead, and I'd be glad to be shown otherwise, and I will share it with the public and apologize publicly, but I know that that's not the case. So we're talking about the same transducers, but the planar best pound for pound, in my opinion, is the S08. At the $250 range for a musical relaxing set, this is probably one of the better options that you can get. Wow, and what the hell. In the future, to Letshuoer, whatever the feelings are that I like or don't like your stuff, I'm not really sure where this came from. That's kind of me talking to reps and saying, you know, dude, what the fuck? That's a separate thing. That's about business and about clarifying what claims are made before I do a video. That's where that comes from. As far as your gear and liking it, my history for the past 6, 7, 8 years about Letshuoer, or what was called Shure, it speaks to me saying, when something's good, I like it, and when it's not, I don't. And there's never been anything other than that. So this was a mistake, in my opinion. This should have been sent to me as soon as you released it. Whoever you sent it to, that's fine. Just for more exposure, and because the people were thirsty and asking me in my comment section repeatedly, and you say, why don't you just buy it? Because I'm a father, because I'm busy, because I got stuff to do, and because a lot of times when I buy stuff, it turns out to be not what people said it was, and then I've got that on me. So there's that. And if you're going to send a $2,000 version of something you already released and it's so close to being the same thing, and the sales from that are going to be, even with a really hyped video, are not going to be anywhere close to this. Because this is $250. And it's got a beryllium driver. And it's got Sony BA and Knowles BA. So we got branded balanced armatures. We've got my favorite type of dynamic driver. It's in a fantastic form factor that fills my ear perfectly. And it's $250. I don't know how, based on my library, anybody thought this wasn't going to be anything except that thing's dope, because it's dope. So if you've got this, I'm speaking to the choir. If you don't have this and you like hybrids, dynamics, and BAs, this is something in the $250 price range you really should strongly consider. They did a really good job. And Letshuoer, so this is the S08 came out, and it's really my rec. It's the trailer for my unboxing channel. And now what is this even called? I'm sorry, excuse me. Cadenza 4. Okay, the Cadenza 12 is 12 drivers. I thought it was 13. Okay, 12. And this is the Cadenza 4 because it's got 4 drivers, 1 dynamic driver and 3 BAs.